Alrighty, what's going on, guys? My name is Blitz. We're gonna come back at you with another TV show review, and today we're gonna be discussing the very first episode in season 7, the final season of Dexter. Yes, unfortunately, it's kind of a bad thing because I love the Dexter show, and that sounds like a daily type show, but I really like the TV show Dexter, and it's a little sad that it's going to end after this season, but at the same time, it's definitely exciting that we're here. And finally, the biggest revelation that everyone was looking forward to seeing at some point in the Dexter series has officially happened, of course, and that is his sister, Deborah Morgan, finding out, or in this case, catching him during a kill. Of course, in the season finale on the last season is when Deborah walks in on Dexter and sees him killing what's the guy's name? The guy with the revelations. Wow. Okay, good start. I forgot the dude's name, but you guys know what I'm talking about. And of course, that leads us into this first episode. Now, a little bit of a warning quickly. There will be spoilers, so if you haven't seen the episode yet, make sure to go check it out first and then come back for the review and give your thoughts in the comment section below. Alrighty, so let's get to it. The episode opens up on a highway. It seems like Dexter's running away from something. Definitely does a great job of building suspense where you feel like, oh man, okay, he's been caught. Deborah didn't forgive him. He's on the run. What is happening? You see him running up to a gas station. He puts in all his different credit cards. All of them are declined, which again builds that momentum. And you see him run up to the, get finally to the airport. And you see him finally buying a ticket to go to I think he was intending to go to Kiev, but then he goes to Budapest, and we're like, oh, okay, so Dexter's on the run, and what is happening? And then we kind of cut back to the events in the what is it called? It was the old church where, of course, Dexter killed the. Crap, I don't know. I don't remember his name. Sorry, guys. I really feel bad about that. But, and we see basically Deborah and Dexter interacting. It's a great moment here where Deborah's like, what are we going to do? And she's like, okay, I'm going to call the police, and we're going to basically say that you had a temporary form of insanity, and it'll be fine. And he's like, no, they're going to put me in a ward or in jail. And he basically convinces her to go ahead and burn down the church, and then basically stage it as if the guy basically kills himself with a sword. So that's the final revelation type thing. The final tableau is the fact that the world didn't end like he had predicted, so he just killed himself. And it definitely was like, okay, that sounds good, and sounds like a valid explanation. But now the intrigue really started to build in the fact that now Deborah knows that Dexter has killed someone, and the fact that she saw how this person was killed, and certain things that Dexter says and the way he acts start bothering her, and she doesn't understand this explanation that Dexter gives her of basically, I just snapped and he came at me and I defended myself and I killed him, because she sees the plastic wrap, she sees everything being very organized. There's a set of knives and all these things which definitely start to unfold as the episode goes on. And of course, as the episode goes on, we see these different kind of back and forth moments where she keeps addressing him. She keeps asking him, Dexter, explain this, explain that, explain this, explain that. And Dexter, you see him hoping throughout the episode, okay, please let it go, please let it go. He keeps trying to kind of swirl his way out of it. And you could definitely see more and more tension between these two, building more and more and more and more, until a certain point where after basically the church investigation is put basically to an end, because everyone else from Miami Metro comes up and they're all checking out the scene and blah, blah, blah. And then that new officer that was introduced last season, I think his name was Michael, was it? I think so. I'm not sure. I'm not good with names. It's too many names in my head as it is. But basically, we see that new police officer, the black guy, and he's driving on the road, and he calls Deborah, and he's like, okay, but how did the guy who killed himself, how did he make it to the church? Why wasn't his car there? What's going on? And as he questions these things, he runs into our basically tribute for the episode, which is Viktor Baskov, I think, or Vaskov, I think was his name, and he's a Ukrainian guy, and we see him trying to repair one of his tires or something, and you see Michael walk out, and he's like, hey, you okay, blah, blah, blah. He keeps trying to help him, and then he opens the trunk, and he sees a dead woman in there, and Victor shoots him 3 or 4 times, and basically we found out that now this character is dead, and of course Miami Metro is now on the hunt for this guy. Dexter, fortunately, of course, is the only one that notices that when they all get to the scene, he finds out the only fingerprint, which was on the turn signal. So he takes off the fingerprint, not letting anyone know that he has found that. And of course, he wants to go kill this guy because it makes sense, almost like he's... you start questioning his character in terms of like, Dexter, you're in this huge troublesome situation, yet you still go and kill a guy. But it's almost like this is the only thing that keeps him together without completely melting down. It's the only thing in his life that is able to that he's good at doing, and now even that thing he's been caught doing. So it definitely does a great job of building his character and really elevating him to a new level that we haven't seen over the past probably 2 seasons, where Dexter's character was almost becoming a little bit two-dimensional, and I feel like now his character is much more intriguing to watch, and I can't wait to see how it all unfolds. But back on point, Dexter then starts to hunt down the fingerprints. He's not able to find any fingerprints within the U.S. region, I think. So then he searches the Interpol, and he's able to find this guy, basically, and he doesn't tell anyone else, of course, because he's going to go ahead and try to take this guy out and kill him by himself. And what? Just a sec, guys. There's something outside. Alrighty, guys. Sorry about that. I just had there was a train going by where my house is, so it was a little bit too loud there. Sorry about that. But back on track. What I was saying is, of course, that then Dexter sets forth and goes after Baskov, basically trying to stop him in the airport, which explains the beginning of the episode, because we know Dexter's chasing Baskov, and we also find out who canceled his credit cards, which was the guy, the game designer. Shoot, what's his name too? Lewis, I think, was it his name? I think Lewis. So yeah, he's the one who, while he's at Dexter's house waiting for his nanny to finish working or whatever, he gets on Dexter's laptop and basically finds out his credit card numbers and all that and cancels all of them. We don't know exactly why yet, but his character is also slowly starting to evolve and turning to a more and more of a darker and a dark side type character. So we'll see how it all unfolds. But we see Dexter going after, and then Deborah Morgan walks into, I don't know why I keep calling her Deborah Morgan. Deborah walks into Dexter's blood splatter lab, and as she walks in, she's like, does Dexter know who Victor? She starts suspecting him again. Still, throughout the episode, they're building this really well. And she basically moves the mouse, and she sees a picture of herself, Dexter, and Harrison. I almost forgot his name too. So all 3 of them basically having kind of like a family moment. And it seems like at that moment, the show really kind of makes you think, okay, she understands now that for her family and for Dexter and for Harrison, she can't keep pursuing this. And you almost feel like, okay, this is going to be over, and she's going to help Dexter cover this thing up and forgive him or whatever, which is great because it does a great 360 turn towards the end, which we'll get to in just 1 second. Then, of course, Dexter does the typical thing where he kills Baskov, you know, our typical kill, and he dumps him and throughout that scene. And then, I mean, I'm not trying to skip it, but it was a little, like, there was not much build here, in my opinion. As we see Dexter basically heading home, we also find out that this Victor Baskov guy is really, really some big shot, or he has some big shot friends. So, of course, Dexter is going to be in some type of trouble, or we're going to really crank things up for this final season, it seems like, with some gangsters or mobsters from Ukraine. So we'll see how all that unfolds. But as Dexter's about to enter his apartment, we think, okay, finally, things are a little bit more in order, and he opens the door, and we see him kind of like almost in a ghostly type look, and the camera basically pans over the entire apartment. It's all like a huge mess, and we see Deborah sitting next to the box of blood slides, and she asks him, "Are you the serial killer?" And he says yes, and that's how the episode ends. So I think overall, a brilliant episode of Dexter, an amazing start to this season, so thrilling, suspenseful, just a great job of building characters. The only concern that I have is the fact that could they have given us a little bit too much here in this first episode? I hope that the rest of the episodes don't start to feel like they're running a little bit too thin, where there's not enough content or interaction between these two, because where do you take it from here? I can't wait to see the next episode. Of course, guys, I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comment section below. Let me know if you enjoyed it. Did you you not? Yes, what did you enjoy in particular? Comment, rate, subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. See you later.